Hello, I'm Phil Johnson, one of the tutors on the Learning Manager course on the Strathclyde MBA. The Learning Manager is a course all about self-awareness. So in other words, it is all about you. It's a course in which we understand what the concept of self-awareness means. We spend time helping students understand that the world of management and leadership today is a complex and difficult place to operate, somewhere where we have to exert as much influence as skillfully and elegantly as possible. The Learning Manager course looks at self-awareness and helps us understand the different elements of our psychology that make up the self. We look at thinking, we look at feeling, and we look at behaving. We take each one of those aspects of self-awareness, break them apart from the others, study it in more detail, and look at business relevant aspects of each. So what do I mean by that? Let's look at an example, thinking. In thinking, to be self-aware, what we're talking about is understanding some of the assumptions that we make about the world, that we carry around with us as though they were true. Where that becomes important in the business world, of course, is in things like decision-making, strategic decision-making. We need to understand what some of our biases and assumptions might be in order to make effective decisions. So we take a look at that on the Learning Manager. Then, if we look at feeling, you may be familiar with the term emotional intelligence. That's understanding our emotions, but also being able to understand the emotions of other people. Being good at reading other people's emotional reactions. That's important when we want to influence other people, when we want them to do what we need them to do and how we need them to do it. We also look at behaviour. What would an important behaviour be for a leader or manager? Well, that might be being assertive. Being aggressive, that's not effective when you want to influence people. Being submissive, that's not effective either. So we look at behaviours such as assertiveness. How can we become more assertive? And so on. The Learning Manager looks at each aspect, thinking, feeling, behaving, and puts it all together in self-awareness. What's important about the Learning Manager is that we hear from you. So there's a lot of group work and a lot of getting to know your fellow students. And that's good because the Learning Manager is at the beginning of the MBA for most students. So it does more than one job. The Learning Manager is not examined or assessed. The primary thing we're looking for from students on the Learning Manager is interaction. We really need to hear from you, and your fellow students also need to hear from you, so you can learn from one another. At the end of the Learning Manager, we hope the outcome is that you've been inspired to begin your self-awareness journey on the Strathclyde MBA.